What if I told you there's a secret switch in your body that, once activated, releases a source of vital energy that will make you question everything you know about fatigue and aging? I'm not talking about a metaphor. I'm talking about a precise, physical point that the ancient Egyptian sage Thoth encoded as a key to longevity. This knowledge didn't come to you by chance. It found you because you're ready. In a moment, I'll show you the exact location of this point and the simple technique to activate it. But first, you need to understand why this secret was guarded for millennia by warriors and emperors. They knew this wasn't just an energy point. It was a weapon, a tool that gave them almost superhuman endurance and a mental clarity that made them invincible. Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to learn today could change your biology forever. After you do, you'll never be the same. If you feel ready to awaken this power, comment below. Wisdom has found me. To understand the true magnitude of this secret, we need to rewind the tape of time, way back, to before the pyramids, to before recorded history. Our journey takes us to a figure who has haunted humanity's imagination for millennia. An entity so wise he was called a god, but whom the oldest legends describe as a king. His name is Thoth, the ibis-headed scribe of Egyptian myth. But the question that echoes through the ages is, who was Thoth really? The stories that have survived tell us something remarkable. They say that Thoth was not a deity born of belief, but a survivor. A priest-king of a legendary, technologically and spiritually advanced civilization known to many as Atlantis. After a global cataclysm submerged his homeland beneath the waves, he led a group of survivors and founded a colony in what would later become Egypt, bringing with him the cream of knowledge we would consider impossible today. He wasn't just a scribe. He was the architect of wisdom itself. Thoth was credited with recording the fundamental laws of the universe, the mechanisms of creation, the science of alchemy, and the manuals for the complete mastery of life. Ancient chronicles, such as Manetho's Egyptian king lists, speak of a time when gods ruled the earth, and Thoth is attributed a reign of 16,000 years. Imagine the level of advancement a civilization could achieve under the tutelage of such a vast consciousness for such a long period. But here lies the crucial point, the secret within the secret. The deepest knowledge Thoth bequeathed to humanity was not recorded solely on stone tablets or papyrus scrolls. That would be too vulnerable, too easily lost or destroyed. The most essential, most practical wisdom was encoded in a much safer and more accessible place, human biology itself. He understood that the body is not a mere vessel of flesh and blood, but a living map of the cosmos, a microcosm that perfectly mirrors the macrocosm. And in this sacred map of the human body, Thoth knew there were access points, dimensional portals, if you will. Specific points that functioned as terminals, capable of connecting an ordinary human being's energy directly to the universe's power source, to what some call God, the quantum vacuum, or zero-point energy. He knew that immortality or extreme longevity wasn't about magic, but about biological technology. It was about knowing which buttons to press on the human body's control panel. This wisdom was not for everyone. It was a powerful knowledge, closely guarded by the mystery schools of ancient Egypt. It was taught only to initiates who proved themselves worthy, those who understood the responsibility that came with such power. Because activating these points not only increased physical vitality, it expanded consciousness, opened perception to other realities, and bestowed abilities that would seem superhuman to the ordinary mind. It was the secret to becoming more than human. And although the hieroglyphics and texts were lost or misinterpreted over the millennia, this practical knowledge about the body survived. It migrated, adapted, and flourished in other cultures, especially in the East, where it was preserved in systems such as acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine. The name changed, the language was adapted, but the essence of the knowledge remained intact. The idea that the body is a living temple, a reflection of the universe, is not just beautiful poetry, it is an instruction manual. The seed planted by Thoth, this revolutionary idea that the body is a map of the universe, did not die in the sands of Egypt. It traveled the world, germinated in diverse soils, and blossomed into some of humanity's most profound wisdom traditions. The idea is at once radically simple and incredibly powerful. Your body is not a biological machine destined to grow sick and decay. It is a sacred temple, a living, pulsating temple that contains within itself all the secrets of creation. Inside this temple, not only blood flows through your veins, rivers of subtle energy flow, invisible to the naked eye, but which is the true source of everything you experience. Traditional Chinese medicine, a direct heir to this ancient wisdom, mapped these rivers and called them meridians, and the energy that flows through them was named qi or qi. Think of qi as the electricity that powers a city. When the electricity flows uninterrupted, all the lights turn on, appliances work, and the city thrives. You feel alive, healthy, with a clear mind and a strong body. But what happens when there's a blockage, a short circuit in the system? Energy stops flowing. Lights flicker and go out. In your life, this manifests as chronic fatigue, that feeling of heaviness, a foggy mind, an illness that seems to appear out of nowhere. Discouragement and apathy set in. You're not sick, you're just blocked. Your vital energy isn't reaching where it should. The ancients' great insight was to realize that these blockages aren't random. They occur at specific points. Imagine this network of meridians as a vast system of invisible highways running through your entire body. And along these roads are interchanges, roundabouts, and distribution centers. These are the acupuncture points. They are not random points. They are centers of neurological and energetic control, veritable portals that regulate the flow of qi to organs, glands, and even your thoughts and emotions. They are switches on the control panel of your inner temple. And here things get even more interesting. Among the hundreds of mapped points, the ancient sages discovered that some were far more powerful than others. They weren't just local switches. They were master switches. Points that, when activated, didn't influence just one area, but had the ability to rebalance and revitalize the entire system at once. They were like the main power plant supplying power to the entire city. These master points were revered, studied, and guarded as the most precious secrets. They were the key to accelerated recovery, peak performance, and, most importantly, to something humanity has always obsessively pursued: an inner fountain of youth. Not the superficial youthfulness of appearance, but true youth, cellular vitality, the body's ability to regenerate and remain vibrant regardless of the passage of time on the calendar. This understanding changes everything. It takes the power out of the hands of chance and puts it back in yours. Your health and vitality are not a genetic lottery. They are the result of the flow or blockage of your own vital energy. And the good news is that you have the power to influence this flow. You have the power to learn to operate your own body's control panel. And among all the master keys, one stands out so spectacularly that it has been considered the crown jewel of energy medicine. Within this secret map of the body, among all the energy portals discovered by the ancients, one shines with unique intensity. It's not just another point. It's the master key, the command center of your vitality. In Eastern tradition, which preserved this knowledge with impressive precision, It is known as Zusanli, or by its modern acronym ST36. But its ancient name reveals its power in a poetic and practical way. 3 miles of the leg. A name born from a real and surprising observation. Legend, which is actually a practical account, tells that an infantryman, after marching for miles to the point of total exhaustion, could stop, stimulate this specific point in his leg, and gain a new surge of energy, renewed strength enough to march for another 3 miles, or almost 5 kilometers. Imagine what this meant on a battlefield or on a long journey. It was the difference between victory and defeat, between life and death. It was a true secret of superhuman performance. Its location, which we will detail later, was not an accidental discovery or a mystical revelation. It was the result of centuries of empirical observation, experimentation, and a deep understanding of how energy moves through the body. Ancient sages and physicians were energy scientists. They observed the body in action, noted the connections, tested the points, and recorded the results. The location of ST36, 4 finger widths below the kneecap, on the outer surface of the shin, is a neurological and energetic convergence point of immense power. Classical Chinese medicine texts, such as the Huangdi Neijing or the Yellow Emperor's Inner Canon, a book written over 2,000 years ago, already described this point with reverence. They called it the longevity point and claimed that its regular stimulation could strengthen the body of an elderly person, calm the mind of an anxious person, and literally extend a person's lifespan. For them, this wasn't a belief. It was an observable fact, a health technology. For the ancient mindset, the discovery and application of this point were definitive proof of a fundamental principle. The human body possesses hidden reservoirs of energy, stores of vitality that most people never access throughout their lives. They remain dormant, waiting for the right stimulus to be released. It's like having a bank account with a fortune, but having lost the password. Point S36 is the password to access this energetic fortune that is already yours. This understanding leads us to an inevitable and fascinating question. How? How exactly can a single point on the lower leg trigger such a profound and systemic effect throughout our being? How can a simple touch in a specific location strengthen digestion, boost the immune system, clear the mind, and inject a new wave of vigor into an exhausted body? The answer lies not in magic, but in a biological and energetic science that our modern civilization is only beginning to rediscover. The power of ST36 is not an anomaly. It is the expression of a perfectly designed system, an internal communication network far more complex and intelligent than we imagine. By touching this point, we are not simply pressing a muscle or a nerve. We are accessing a master terminal of our body's operating system, sending a command directly to the energy management center. And what happens next is a cascade of reactions that explains why this point is so incredibly effective. The answer to the impressive power of point ST36 lies not in any mystical belief, but rather in ancient science, a profound understanding of how the human body generates and manages its own energy. Chinese medicine, with its ancient wisdom, explains that our daily vitality, the energy we use to think, move, and live, does not come from nothing. It is produced from 2 main sources: the air we breathe and the food we eat. This energy is called acquired qi, and the quality of our lives directly depends on the efficiency of this process. This is where the stomach meridian comes into play. It is primarily responsible for receiving food, breaking it down, and extracting its nutritive essence, the first crucial step in qi production. Point ST36 is located precisely on this meridian, and not just anywhere, but at a command point. Think of your digestive system as a complex power plant. Point ST36 functions as the main control panel, the general manager's office of this plant. When you activate this point, you're sending a direct command to optimize the entire process. It's as if you're telling your body, increase efficiency now. Digestion becomes stronger, nutrient absorption is maximized, and the transformation of food into pure energy happens much more efficiently. That's why one of the first effects practitioners notice is a drastic improvement in digestion, the elimination of bloating, and a feeling of lightness after meals. You're not just eating, you're truly nourishing yourself. But ST36's role doesn't stop there. It not only oversees energy production, it also controls its distribution. Once qi is produced, it needs to be sent to every corner of your body, to every cell, every organ, every tissue. ST36 acts as a master logist, ensuring that this vital energy is distributed intelligently and efficiently, nourishing the brain for mental clarity, the muscles for physical strength, and the immune system for protection against invaders. That's why its effects are so far-reaching. By stimulating a single point, you're actually rebalancing and empowering your entire system. It's like turning on an internal furnace that not only heats but also propels and moves your entire being. This point is living proof that ancient wisdom wasn't based on superstition or guesswork. It was based on practical, functional, and profoundly scientific knowledge about the energetic body. A science that quantum physics is now beginning to validate. This understanding shows us that the body is a self-regulating and self-healing system of astonishing intelligence. Fatigue and illness are not the natural state. The natural state is vibration, vitality, and flow. Point ST36 is one of the most powerful tools nature has given us to return to this original state of well-being. It reminds us that the power of healing and energization is not in a pill, but in our own hands. But if you think this point's power is limited to the physical body, be prepared. Ancient science goes much deeper. It reveals that the energy that nourishes our muscles is the same energy that fuels our thoughts and emotions. And this is where the true mystery of ST36 begins to unravel, revealing that its power transcends the material world and acts as a bridge to more subtle dimensions of our existence. The real secret, the reason why ST36 is so revered, is that its power doesn't end at the physical level. It's much more than a simple button to improve digestion or increase strength. It functions as a bridge, a portal that connects the tangible world of matter with the intangible world of energy, mind, and emotions. By touching this point, you are initiating a dialogue between your body and your consciousness, uniting heaven and earth within you. In energy medicine, the stomach meridian is associated with the earth element. The earth element represents stability, security, nourishment, and our center. It's no coincidence that this meridian has a direct energetic connection to our solar plexus, the third chakra, the center of personal power where emotions such as self-confidence, willpower, and the ability to stand firm in the face of life's storms reside. When this center is out of balance, we experience anxiety, insecurity, and fear. By stimulating ST36, you're not just sending a command to your physical stomach. You're sending a wave of calming and stabilizing energy directly to your emotional center. That's why regular practice of activating this point results in a profound sense of calm and mental clarity. The anxious mind, which keeps jumping between past worries and future fears, begins to quiet. You feel more present, more centered, and more secure in your own skin. Think of it as a cosmic balancing act. You are simultaneously nourishing your body with the energy of food and nourishing your soul with a sense of peace and stability. The ancient sages knew this. For them, touching this point was a sacred ritual. a gesture that silenced the noise of the mind and strengthened the spirit for life's challenges. It was a way to ensure that the warrior was not only strong in body, but also unshakable in mind. This point acts like a switch that shifts your nervous system from fight or flight, sympathetic mode, to rest and digest, parasympathetic mode. In our modern world, we live chronically stressed, with our body's alarm system constantly on. This drains our energy and makes us sick. ST36 is one of the quickest and most effective shortcuts to turning off this alarm and allowing the body and mind to enter a state of healing and regeneration. It reveals that true strength does not reside in tension, effort, or rigidity. True strength arises from harmony, flow, and a calm center. By opening this channel, you allow the subtle energy of the universe, Qi, to flow through you, unimpeded, clearing emotional blockages and nourishing your essence. You begin to realize that matter and energy, body and mind, are not separate. They are two sides of the same coin, and C36 is the point where these two sides meet. And this connection leads us to the final revelation, the secret that Thoth guarded and that the sages refined over millennia. The practical knowledge that transforms all this theory into a living, breathing, and transformative experience. We have reached the moment to learn not only the what and why, but the how. The precise method to activate this portal of power within you and begin to reclaim your infinite life energy. Now, all theory, all history, and all mystery converge on a single point of action. The knowledge that Thoth initiated and that generations of sages have refined is, at this very moment, in your hands, not as a story but as a practical tool. Activating point ST36 is the act that transforms information into experience, promise into reality. It is the practice that can literally change the way you feel every day, starting today. And the technique is so simple that its effectiveness is disconcerting. First, find the point. Sit comfortably in a chair with your knees bent at a 90-degree angle. Place the heel of your palm on the top of your kneecap, the patella. The point where the tip of your ring finger, the fourth finger, naturally rests on the outside of your shin is the general area. For the exact location, from the bottom edge of the kneecap, measure 4 finger widths down. There, next to the main shin bone, the tibia, you'll feel a small depression, a point that may be a little more sensitive to the touch. This is Zusanli, ST36. Now, the activation. You can use the tip of your thumb or your index and middle fingers together. Apply firm pressure, but one that feels comfortable to you. It doesn't need to be painful, just a clear and present pressure. Begin massaging the point in circular motions, clockwise or counterclockwise, whichever feels most intuitive to you. Do this for about 2 to 3 minutes on each leg. As you do this, the most important part of the process comes into play. Your intention and your breathing. Close your eyes if you feel like it. Breathe slowly, deeply, and consciously. With each inhale, imagine drawing a warm, golden light, the pure life force of the universe, directly into this point. Feel this light filling your leg and beginning to spread throughout your body, nourishing every cell. With each exhale, visualize any fatigue, tension, pain, or energetic blockage dissolving, transforming into a dark smoke that leaves your body and dissipates into the air. The best time for this practice is in the morning. Think of it as turning on your system for the day, igniting your internal furnace. Doing this upon waking prepares your body and mind for a day of vitality and clarity. You can also do it whenever you feel tired or overwhelmed during the day. as a quick and powerful energetic reset. The key is consistency. The body responds to rhythm and ritual. This isn't a mechanical exercise. It's not just rubbing a spot on your leg. It's a ritual of reconnection. It's an act of self-love. A moment when you stop and devote your full attention to your own well-being. By combining physical touch with conscious breathing and focused visualization, you're amplifying the effect of the practice exponentially. You're using the three main keys, body, mind, and spirit, to open the same door. By doing so, you are directly applying the wisdom of millennia. You are taking knowledge that was once secret and restricted to a select few, and transforming it into a living, personal, and profoundly transformative experience. You are no longer just hearing about the secret to vitality. You are literally holding your finger on the switch. You are touching the point that can unlock energy you never knew you had. And this is just the beginning of your journey. This simple act, when practiced regularly, initiates a cascade of changes. You'll not only feel more physical energy, but you'll also notice a new emotional resilience and spiritual clarity that will become your new foundation. You're rewriting your own biology, one touch at a time. And now that the key has been revealed and the door is open, what happens when you begin to walk through it every day? What did the warriors and monks of old discover about the continuous use of this power? Now I will develop everything in great detail until I use up all my character limit in a dynamic and linear way, without repeating what has already been said or what will be covered in the next part. Now that you have the key, understand that this knowledge wasn't just used for everyday health. For certain groups, it was a tactical advantage, a true secret weapon. Historical records and legends echoing the martial traditions of ancient Asia tell of elite warriors, such as the legendary samurai, who had a pre-battle ritual. They stimulated the ST-36 point not only to gain the near-superhuman physical endurance that allowed them to fight for hours, but also for an even more crucial benefit, unwavering mental focus. They knew that the true battle is won first in the mind. Activating this point placed them in a unique state of consciousness, a perfect balance between calm and high alert. Imagine being in the midst of chaos, but with a silent mind and a perfectly stable inner center. This allowed them to act from pure precision and sharp intuition, moving like a force of nature rather than reacting based on primal fear or blind rage. ST-36 was the anchor that kept them centered in the eye of the storm, transforming them into much more formidable and conscious warriors. On the complete opposite side of the human spectrum, in silent monasteries nestled in the mountains, Taoist and Buddhist monks used the exact same technique for a completely different purpose: to deepen their meditations and reach higher states of consciousness. Sitting in stillness for hours on end is an immense physical challenge. The body complains, the mind agitates, pain arises. Activating ST-36 was the secret that allowed them to transcend physical discomfort, keeping the body nourished and energized so the mind could soar. They discovered in practice a universal truth. True strength is not born of rigidity, tension, or brute effort. The most powerful and lasting strength comes from a smooth, constant, and uninterrupted flow of energy. The most formidable resistance is not that of a stone wall that eventually cracks under pressure, but that of a river that flows around obstacles and continues its course without losing its strength. ST-36 was the tool that ensured that the river of their internal energy continued to flow, strong and serene, nourishing both body and spirit. This duality of use by the warrior and the monk reveals the complete nature of this point. It doesn't give you just one type of energy. It gives you the energy you need for your intention. If you need strength and focus for action, it delivers. If you need calm and stability for stillness and introspection, it delivers that too. It is an intelligent equalizer, a regulator that harmonizes your energy with your purpose, showing that vitality and spirituality are not separate paths, but paths that intersect. This wisdom shows us that the greatest battle we fight is internal, and the greatest peace we seek is also within. The warrior and the monk represent the two poles of our own existence, the need to act in the world with strength and the need to find peace within ourselves. The ST36 point serves as the bridge between these two worlds, the tool that allows us to be peaceful warriors, masters of our own energy, capable of facing the outside world with the same serenity with which we explore our inner world. And this ability to unify opposites, to find harmony in paradox, is no accident. It is rooted in a fundamental cosmic law, a principle as old as the universe itself, recorded by Thoth in one of the most mysterious and important texts in human history. A text that shows us that what happens at one point on your leg is actually connected to the movement of the entire cosmos. Thoth's wisdom was not lost. It was passed on, and in his journey through time, he became known in the Greco-Roman world as Hermes Trismegistus, or Hermes the Thrice Great. And the essence of all his vast knowledge was condensed into a short, enigmatic text of unimaginable transformative power, the Emerald Tablet. This text holds the key to deciphering reality, and its most famous principle, which has echoed for centuries, states, "As above, so below, and as above, so below." This is not a poetic phrase. It describes the fundamental law of correspondence, the secret that makes the universe holographic. This means that every tiny part contains the information of the whole. A drop of ocean contains the essence of the entire ocean. And your body, the microcosm, is not a separate entity from the universe. It is a perfect, miniature reflection of the macrocosm. The same laws that govern the movement of galaxies govern the flow of energy within you. ST36 is living, breathing proof of this law in action. Think of the solar system. The planets orbit the sun, receiving light, heat, and the energy that sustains life. They revolve around a power center. Similarly, within your body, your life force, your chi, circulates through the meridians. But it is also governed and regulated by specific power centers, the master points. ST36 is one of these internal suns, a gravitational center for your vital energy. When you activate ST36, you're doing much more than simply massaging a point on your leg. You're consciously applying the law of correspondence. You're engaging in an act of cosmic alignment. It's as if you're tuning your small personal universe, your body, to the vast and harmonious order of the greater universe out there. You're adjusting your frequency to vibrate in unison with the same harmony that governs the silent movement of the stars. This attunement has a profound effect. Disorder, chaos, and illness are states of low vibration and misalignment. Health, vitality, and clarity are states of high vibration and harmony. By activating this point, you are consciously choosing harmony. You are inviting the order of the cosmos into your own system, allowing the infinite intelligence of the universe to help reorganize and rebalance your energy, clearing blockages and restoring the natural flow of life. This is the true magic of Hermetic wisdom. It's not about spells or external rituals. It's about understanding universal laws and applying them within yourself. The power lies not in manipulating the outside world, but in becoming a master of your inner world. Point ST36 is one of the most direct and effective tools for doing just that. It's a portal that allows you to access the cosmic order and bring it into your own biology. And when you begin practicing this alignment consistently, when you make this act a daily ritual, the effects begin to manifest in your life in ways you can clearly and unmistakably feel. The transformation ceases to be an abstract concept and becomes a tangible reality, unfolding in layers that affect your body, mind, and spirit in ways you may never have imagined possible. When you begin incorporating the practice of activating ST36 into your routine, the transformation isn't a sudden, explosive event, but a gradual unfolding, a cascade of effects that manifest in layers, starting with the densest and moving to the more subtle. Initially, the most noticeable changes occur on a physical level. You may notice that your digestion, which may have been slow or uncomfortable, begins to function with surprising efficiency. The feeling of bloating and heaviness after meals diminishes, replaced by a feeling of lightness and energy. Soon after, you begin to notice an overall strengthening of your system. Your immune system seems more robust. Colds and minor infections that once easily felled you now pass by quickly or never even set in. Your recovery capacity accelerates. After a tiring day or physical exertion, your body seems to regenerate faster overnight. That chronic fatigue that seemed to be your shadow begins to dissipate, giving way to a new level of vitality that accompanies you throughout the day. But then, as your body begins to find a new balance, something deeper begins to happen. The transformation shifts to the emotional and mental plane. That constant anxiety, that background noise of worries that once dominated your mind, begins to fade. A sense of calm and emotional stability begins to settle in, becoming your new foundation. You don't become immune to problems, but your reaction to them changes. You face them with a serenity and confidence that don't easily shake. With calm comes clarity. The mental fog dissipates, and you gain a capacity for focus and discernment that allows you to make better decisions, more aligned with who you truly are. And it is at this point that the practice opens the doors to the spiritual realm. You begin to feel a more intimate and profound connection with your own essence, with your true self. A sense of presence and home within yourself begins to permeate your entire being, an experience many describe as a lightness, as if an invisible burden they've carried, their entire lives has finally been lifted from their shoulders. Modern science, always skeptical but increasingly curious, is beginning to find physical proof for what the ancients already knew from experience. Studies are discovering that stimulating this specific point on the leg has a direct and measurable influence on the vagus nerve. This nerve is the main component of the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system. Activating ST36 is like sending a direct signal to the brain, saying everything is okay. You can relax, heal, and regenerate. This scientific validation is fascinating, but the true proof isn't in the lab, it's in your own experience. It's the feeling of waking up with more energy, of going through the day more calmly, of feeling a joy and peace that don't depend on external circumstances. These effects, which accumulate and deepen over time, are living testimony to the power that resides in your own hands. They are an invitation to go even deeper, to not only use the tool, but to integrate it into a lifestyle that further enhances its power. And for this transformation to be complete and lasting, for the power of ST36 to manifest in its fullness, it's important to understand that it's not a magic pill that works in isolation. It's a powerful catalyst, an amplifier, and what it amplifies are the choices you make every day. Ancestral wisdom teaches us that the practice must be integrated into a conscious lifestyle, where each habit becomes part of the same ritual of cultivating vital energy. For ST36 activation to transform from a simple technique into a continuous source of power, you need to understand that it works in synergy with the rest of your life. Ancient wisdom teaches us that practice is the catalyst that lights the flame, but it's our daily habits that provide the fuel to keep it burning strong. ST36 is the door, But a conscious lifestyle is the path that opens once you step through it. Every choice you make can either enhance the flow of energy or create new blockages. Since the point is located on the stomach meridian, the connection with food is the most direct and obvious. What you eat has an immediate impact on the quality of energy your body produces. Accompany your practice with a more natural, vibrant, and balanced diet. Think of food not just in terms of calories, but in terms of life force. Fresh, colorful, and minimally processed foods carry more qi. By making more conscious food choices, you are literally providing high-quality raw materials for your internal energy plant, and ST36 will help transform these raw materials into pure gold. Next, incorporate conscious movement into your routine. Vital energy, qi, loves to flow. Stagnation is its enemy. Practices like Tai Chi, Qigong, and yoga were specifically designed to cultivate and circulate energy through the meridians. But you don't need to become a martial arts master. Simple movements, like walks in nature, where you breathe fresh air and connect with the rhythm of the earth, or even morning stretching sessions, can help keep your energy channels open and clear. Above all, the key to enhancing energy flow is consistency. The human body is a creature of rhythm and habit. It thrives on predictability and responds deeply to discipline. It's much more powerful to practice for 5 minutes every day than for an hour once a week. Create your daily ritual. Find a sacred moment, whether upon waking or before bed, to honor your body and energy with this practice. This act of commitment to yourself sends a powerful message to your subconscious. Thus, ST36 ceases to be just an acupressure point you mechanically stimulate. It becomes the anchor of a new and vibrant chapter in your life. It becomes a daily reminder of your power to heal, energize, and align yourself. Every mindful meal, every deep breath, every gentle movement becomes part of the same symphony, with ST36 acting as the conductor, ensuring all the instruments are playing in perfect harmony, creating a melody of well-being and vitality. This process of integration is where true mastery occurs. You stop looking for quick fixes and begin building a solid foundation of health and energy. You realize that every small choice matters and that you have the power, in every moment, to choose what nourishes you and what depletes you. The practice of ST36 becomes the center of a web of positive habits that reinforce each other, creating a virtuous cycle of growing energy. And as you walk this path of integration and consistency, something even more profound begins to happen. The transformation transcends the body and habits. It begins to change your very perception of who you are and your role in the universe. You begin to awaken to a consciousness that had been dormant, to embody the essence of the architect of wisdom himself, Thoth, and to realize that you are the master of your inner world. By consistently walking this journey, by practicing not just touching the point but awareness in every act, something extraordinary and inevitable begins to happen. You begin to embody the archetypal essence of Thoth himself, the scribe of the gods. Not that you become a god, but you awaken to the awareness that you are the author, the scribe of your own reality. You finally understand, at a cellular level, that your life is not something that happens to you, but something that flows through you and from you. You realize with crystal clarity that every thought you choose to cultivate is not harmless. It is a spell, an instruction sent to the universe. Every word you utter isn't lost in thin air. It is a portal, a decree that helps shape the world around you. And every action you take, no matter how small, is a line you write in the sacred book of your existence. Life ceases to be a series of random events and reveals itself as your masterpiece in progress. This newfound power, this awareness of being a creator, brings with it an immense and beautiful responsibility to use your energy, your thoughts, and your words wisely, intentionally, and ethically. You can no longer afford to complain, blame others, or see yourself as a victim of circumstances. Doing so would be like a painter blaming the brush for the poor quality of his painting. You understand that the brush is in your hands. You become the vigilant guardian of your own life force. You learn to discern what nourishes you and what drains you, not just in terms of food, but also in terms of information, relationships, and environments. You become the sovereign master of your inner world, the king or queen of your own kingdom. The transformation that begins with a simple touch on the leg reveals itself as a profound and radical shift in perception, a true initiation. In this state of consciousness, you stop simply reacting to life on autopilot, as most people do. You begin to actively create it, moment by moment. You choose your emotions instead of being dominated by them. You choose your thoughts instead of being a slave to the incessant mental flow. You stop being a passenger on the boat of your life, subject to the winds and tides, and take the helm firmly, knowing exactly which port you are sailing toward. This is true awakening. It's not a mystical event that happens on a distant mountain. It's a practical, a grounded process that begins with the decision to take 100% responsibility for your own energy. It's the transition from victim consciousness to creator consciousness. It's the realization that the power you sought outside, in gurus, systems, or saviors, has always been within you, waiting to be recognized and activated. And as you settle into this new awareness, as being your own master becomes your new normal, the outward signs of your transformation begin to appear so clearly and unmistakably that they become irrefutable proof of your journey. The world around you begins to mirror the new order you've established within, and you begin to witness the miracles born of your own transformation. With continued practice and the shift in consciousness it entails, the signs of your transformation cease to be subtle and become unmistakable, manifesting in every area of your life. The first sign, and perhaps the most delightful, is a new and persistent lightness in your body. You begin to move with an agility and fluidity you may not have felt in years, as if a heavy, invisible armor you've been carrying has simply dissolved. That weight in your shoulders, that tension in the back of your neck, all begin to give way to a sense of bodily freedom. Then, the transformation becomes evident in your mind. Clarity, once an occasional visitor, now becomes a permanent resident. Your mind, once perhaps clouded by fatigue or anxiety, becomes sharp, and focused. Your ability to solve problems, come up with creative ideas, and see situations from a higher perspective increases dramatically. You stop getting lost in insignificant details and begin to see the bigger picture of your life with new wisdom. Perhaps the most profound sign is the shift in your fundamental emotional state. A peace that doesn't depend on anything external begins to settle in the center of your being, in your heart. This peace becomes your new foundation, your new normal. This doesn't mean you'll never feel sadness or anger again. But these emotions become like passing clouds in a vast, blue sky. They come and go, but they no longer shake the deep serenity you've cultivated. Life's challenges continue to exist, but they lose their power to destabilize you. Your connection with yourself deepens to a level you may not have known was possible. You begin to listen to your intuition more clearly, trust your instincts, and know what's right for you without needing validation from others. And as your inner connection strengthens, your perception of the external world expands. You begin to notice the beauty in small details that previously went unnoticed. The complexity of a leaf, the warmth of the sun on your skin, the sincerity in a stranger's smile. Life gains color, texture, and depth. You begin to feel the pulse of life in everything around you, realizing that the same energy that flows within you flows within all things. This realization dissolves the sense of separation and loneliness, replacing it with a sense of belonging and connection to the whole. This is the true journey of transformation, not a single, spectacular event, but a continuous flowering, a blossoming that happens from the inside out, nourished each day by your own touch, your own breath, and your own intention. This process isn't about becoming someone else. It's about becoming more of who you truly are. It's about removing the layers of conditioning, fear, and limitation that have kept you from expressing your true nature. It's an invitation to continue the practice, not out of a sense of obligation, but for the pure pleasure of feeling alive, whole, and connected to the magic of existence. You're no longer just surviving, you're thriving. And this prosperity of energy and consciousness leads to a radical redefinition of one of the most misunderstood concepts in our culture: youth. Thoth's wisdom invites us to view youth not as a fleeting phase of life, but as a state of being that can be cultivated and maintained indefinitely, regardless of chronological age. At this advanced point in the journey, when energy flows and consciousness expands, Thoth's ancient wisdom offers us its most precious pearl, an invitation to completely redefine what it means to be young. Our culture is obsessed with youth, but sees it superficially, as the absence of wrinkles, the firmness of the skin, a passing phase to be desperately grasped before it slips through our fingers. But this is a poor and limited vision. True youth isn't about your appearance, it's about your vibration. True youth is a state of consciousness, a vitality that radiates from within. It's the ability of your body and mind to regenerate, adapt, and constantly renew themselves. It's maintaining the curiosity of a child, the ability to marvel at the world, learn new things, and keep the flame of enthusiasm for life burning, no matter how many birthday candles you've blown out. It's about the quality of your energy, not the quantity of your years. It's emotional resilience that allows you to weather life's inevitable storms, not with a bitter and hardened heart, but with a serene, open heart and a strength that doesn't break, but bends like bamboo. True youth is mental flexibility, the ability to unlearn old patterns and embrace new perspectives rather than being trapped in dogmas and rigid certainties. It's proof that chronological age is just a number, but biological and energetic age is a choice. ST36 is the physical key, the gateway to cultivating and maintaining this state of being. By keeping the flow of vital energy constantly renewed, by ensuring that every cell in your body receives the nourishment it needs, you are constantly reminding your system that it was designed for wholeness, for regeneration, not for wear and tear and decay. You are actively combating the aging process at its most fundamental level, the energetic level. From this perspective, youth ceases to be something you lose over time and becomes a skill you cultivate through practice. It becomes a daily choice, a ritual of connecting with the inexhaustible source of life that dwells within you. Each time you touch point ST36, you are making a declaration to the universe and to yourself. I choose vitality. I choose regeneration. I choose youth. This paradigm shift is liberating. It takes you out of the futile race against time and places you in the eternal flow of life. You stop fearing aging and begin to embrace maturity, knowing that you can accumulate wisdom and experience without losing your vitality and sparkle in your eyes. You understand that you can have the wisdom of an elder in the energetic body of a young person. And so, the circle closes. The journey that began with the search for more energy reveals itself as the discovery of the fountain of eternal youth, not in some external magical source, but in a secret spot within you. Thoth's legacy is fulfilled not as a promise of physical immortality, but as the gift of perpetual vitality, a state of being that is available to you here and now, and that will accompany you every day of your life. And so, we have reached the end of this path of knowledge. But in truth, we are only at the true beginning of your new journey. We have traveled a path that has taken us from the misty sands of time in ancient Egypt, through the wisdom of the warriors and monks of the East, until we landed in the sacred and intimate geography of your own body. The ancient wisdom of Thoth, which at first seemed a distant and inaccessible mystery, has proven to be a living, practical legacy, available to anyone with the courage to look within and the discipline to act. The secret point of infinite vital energy, as you now understand, is not a magic formula or a miracle pill that exempts you from the process of life. It is something much more powerful. It is an invitation. An invitation for you to reconnect with the power of healing and regeneration that already resides within you, that has always been there. It is the key given to you to unlock a potential that is yours by birthright, but that perhaps had been forgotten or dormant beneath the layers of modern life. Now, the choice, as always, is yours. You can store this knowledge as a fascinating story, an intellectual curiosity to share in conversation, and let it gather like dust on a shelf in your mind. Or you can choose the initiates, the warriors, and the monks. You can transform this knowledge into a living practice, a daily ritual that constantly reminds you of your strength, your light, and your eternal connection to the pulsating energy of the universe. The true miracle has never been in finding the point. Millions of people know of its existence. The true miracle happens the moment you decide to touch it with intention. It happens in the discipline of returning to it day after day. It is in this act of commitment to yourself that the magic unfolds and the transformation takes root. It is your active participation that brings this ancient wisdom to life and makes it real in your world. If you've reached this point, know that it's no coincidence. Your journey has brought you here, and your presence until the end of this video is proof that you're ready for a deeper transformation. To seal this moment and anchor this new awareness, leave a comment below with the phrase, "My inner power has awakened." Your energy and attention are the greatest gift to this channel. But if this knowledge resonated with you in a special way and you feel called to help this work grow and reach more people, there is a way to contribute more directly. In the first pinned comment, you'll find access to support the channel. Any help you can give is immensely important to me and helps us continue spreading messages like this. But understand, the simple fact that you watched until the end is already a huge help. And if you want to further enhance this energy, share this video with someone you feel is also ready to awaken. And before you go, your journey doesn't have to stop here. We've created a special video for you as the next logical step on this journey of awakening. It will delve even deeper into what we've discussed and give you new practical tools, so don't leave just yet. Click on the video now, appearing on your screen, and we'll meet there. See you on the other side.